people tube, and welcome back to another review. I'm Chris.
I'm Andrew.
Alright, so recently we had a passing of one of the greatest and most famous horror directors, George Romero. You may know him as basically the godfather of zombies. Night of the Living Dead, the movie we're going to review, Day of the Dead, and so on and so forth. And shows like The Walking Dead and many other zombie-type things really owe it to this man. Well, today, because everyone else is pretty much doing Night of the Living Dead, we decided to review Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is basically a sequel to Night of the Living Dead. It goes further into the story and the plot of the zombies, what made them what they are, and how they are. It's about 4 people who go to try and escape up to Canada. Well, as they're escaping, they end up finding a mall where they land their plane, and they block it off, and they live there. And they start, building it up as sort of a house, and they start to change. Well, they realize they need to get out, but the mall is attacked by bikers and so forth, and zombies, and all this good shit. The acting is actually really good for a horror flick.
Right. And for its time. The chemistry between all the lead characters works out really well, especially between the black guy and his Jewish friend. Right. They had really good chemistry as friends, and it's really enjoyable to watch. The pilot and his soon-to-be fiance, they actually have, marital problems and arguing and stuff, and that's really well done. And they talk about serious stuff like abortions and death and all kinds of other shit, and it's actually a really well movie, really well scripted. And one of the reasons for that is not only is George Romero's name on it, and I actually love this, but this film has 3 legends of horror. George A. Romero, of course, Tom Savini, who is a famous makeup artist. He'd done Friday the 13th, this, and many other movies, Maniac. And of course, one of my all-time other favorite horror directors, Dario Argento, who is easily one of the best horror directors who ever lived. And he does Italian horror flicks like Suspiria, Mother of Tears, and other movies. And Tenebrae, Phenomena, all these other awesome movies. And of course, it has Goblin. And as you all may know, if you're watching up my videos, I'm a huge fucking Goblin fan. And I have their shirt and albums. Love those guys. And the music in here was really good and memorable. And I will just say this. A lot of people will say Night of the Living Dead is his masterpiece, and while I almost agree with you, I would argue the point that Dawn of the Dead actually has, while the characters may not be as memorable, I think they're not only more likable, but they're more enjoyable. And I say Day of the Dead is a more enjoyable movie because there's also parts that are fun, enjoyable, there's dark comedy in it, there's some goofy stuff. Now, like I said, Night of the Living Dead is a great beginning, but to me, Day of the Dead is a perfect sequel and one of the best zombie films ever made, and I highly recommend it, and George Romero goes out to you. Yep, I agree with you on just pretty much just everything through and through. It is really good, and especially for its time again, I can't recommend it, can't recommend it even more enough.
Oh yeah, no, I love this movie, and let me tell you, quick little George Romero story. When I was growing up, there's 3 horror films. I'm a huge horror fan. You can ask him. That is my all-time favorite thing. I'm like a god of horror. I memorize all kinds of shit. Yep. There were 3 horror films growing up that really turned me this way, and it was Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, the original Halloween by John Carpenter, and Night of the Living Dead. And I have to thank Night of the Living Dead for easily being one of the best experiences that ever happened to me. And I have to thank Dawn of the Dead for being an absolute great sequel to the masterpiece that Night was. So if you've never seen his movies, at least Night and Dawn, go check them out right now. They're totally worth it. So, here's to you, George Romero.
Yep, thanks, George. Yep. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.